Welcome to all. As in the last lecture, we have seen about the prime factorization and some example in which we can find the GCD and LCM through the prime factorization. We quickly recall what we have seen that about the GCD and LCM. So if we have any number A, then it can be written as in the prime factorization. So we write A as the prime factorization p1 to the power a1, p2 to the power a2 and so on pr to the power ar, where ai belongs to the natural number and it takes the value 0 also. Okay, and all p1, p2 up to pr are prime numbers. That is, a is written in the standard canonical form of the prime factorization. B is also written as p1, b1, p2, b2 and so on pr to the power br, where bi are also natural number and p1, p2 up to pr are primes. Okay, now to find the GCD and LCM, what we have done earlier, to find the GCD of a comma b, we have p1 on the bracket, that is we can take the minimum of these two powers, since here p1, p2 up to pr are all common prime numbers, okay, in the factorization of a and b. So to find the GCD of a comma b, we have to take p1 and in the power we have to take the minimum of a1 comma b1. p2 in the power we have to take the minimum of a2 comma b2 and so on pr to the power minimum of ar comma br. So we have to take the minimum of the powers and in the power of the primes number, and therefore this is the GCD of a comma b is written as the p1, that is power of the prime, should be the minimum of the powers in the integer a and b. Okay, and what is the LCM? LCM of a comma b is equals to the p1 to the power maximum of a1 comma b1, p2 to the power maximum of a2 comma b2 and so on pr to the power maximum of ar comma br. So this we have seen this in the last lectures. So now we have to say some examples to find, that is to find the properties on the GCD, and we prove that properties using this prime factorization. Okay, so we see the first example. So our first example is that is, if the GCD of a comma b, a and b are any two integers, then the GCD of a comma b is equals to 1. Then we have to show that GCD of a square comma b square is equals to 1. We have to prove that if GCD of a comma b equals to 1, then we have to prove that the GCD of a square comma b square is also equals to 1. So we have given that a comma b is equals to 1. So we let the GCD of a comma b is equals to 1. Now we assume that the GCD of a square comma b square is equals to d. That is, we have to show that GCD of a square comma b square equals to 1. But we suppose that the GCD of a square comma b square equals to d, and this d is either equal to 1 or d greater than 1, right? D is equals to 1 or d greater than 1. If d is equals to 1, then we are done, because we require that the GCD of a square comma b square equal to 1. Okay, so if d is equals to 1, then we are done. That is, we get the solution. So if d is greater than 1, so we use the first case is what? If d is equals to 1, then we get the solution. And the second case is that d is greater than 1. So what happen if d is greater than 1? D is greater than 1 and d is a positive integer which is greater than 1. So by the fundamental theorem, d can be factorized into the prime factor, or we can say that by some property that any number which is greater than 1 has a prime factor. Okay, so we use here that then by the fundamental theorem of arithmetic. D has a prime factor, and we say that D has a prime factor and we say it is P. So say P, that is its prime factor is P, that is P is a prime factor of D, therefore P divides D, right? That is P dividing D, but as D is the GCD of A square comma B square, right? But GCD of A square comma B square equals to D implies, because D is a GCD of this, therefore D divides A square and D divides B square. Okay, so this implies D divides A square and D divide B square. Okay, so D is dividing A square and D is dividing B square. But also from this statement we have P is dividing D, right? So P is dividing D and D is dividing A square. So this implies that, what this implies? That since P is dividing D and D divides A square, implies P divides A square. Also P divides D and D divides B square. So by the property of divisibility, if we apply here, then P is dividing A square, similarly P is dividing B square. So combining these two, we have P divides A square and P divides B square, right? So if P is dividing A square, and what this P is? P is prime. Therefore when prime is dividing some number, that is, here is the product of A into A. So P is dividing A itself. Okay, so this implies P divides A and P divides B, because prime number is dividing this product A square. Okay, so this implies that P is dividing the number itself A, and here P is dividing B since P is prime. Now this implies P divides A and P divides B, then P divides the GCD of A comma B, because we know that GCD is the greatest common divisor. GCD is greatest common divisor which divides A and B both. So if the number P is dividing A and P is dividing B, then P divides the GCD of the number, right? Because as we know the theorem on GCD, that if any divisor which divides the GCD, then that divisor also divides the, if any number, for example C divides A and C divides B, B common divisor of A and B, then we see the theorem that C divides the D, where D is the GCD of A comma B. Okay, so combining these results here, we have P is dividing A comma B, that is the GCD of A and B. So this implies that P divides, but the GCD of A comma B is given that it is equals to 1, so P divides 1. But as P is a prime number and P is greater than 1, but as P is prime and P is greater than 1, right? P is greater than 1, so number which is greater than 1 can divide 1. So this one is not true. So this gives us a contradiction. That is, here we are proving this method by contradiction by assuming that the GCD of A square comma B square equal to D. Okay, so as P is prime and P greater than 1, then the above equation is absurd. Absurd means is not correct, right? And therefore this implies D is not greater than 1. That is, D is not greater than 1, so D is equal to 1. Okay, so we have only one alternative, that D is equals to 1. So the only alternative that D is equals to 1. That is, the GCD of A square comma B square is equals to 1. Okay, so we get that the GCD of A square comma B square is equals to 1. Hence our example is completed here. Now we see one more example, that prove that the GCD of A square comma B square equal to C square if the GCD of A comma B is equals to C. Okay, so this is a generalization of this example, that is here the GCD of A comma B is given to be 1, and therefore the GCD of A square comma B square is equals to 1. Similarly, here the GCD of A comma B is given to be C. So the GCD of A square comma B square equal to C square. Okay, so this is a generalization of this example. Here it is 1, therefore the square GCD of square number is also 1, and here it is C, then the GCD of square number is also C square. Okay, so we prove this. We have the solution, and we have given that the GCD of A comma B is equal to C. Now if the GCD of A comma B is equals to C, then this implies the GCD of A comma C, A upon C comma B upon C is equals to 1, right? So GCD, if the GCD of A comma B equal to C, then the GCD of A upon C comma B upon C equals to 1. We know this result, right? So this implies that if from this example now, if the GCD of A comma B is equals to 1, then the GCD of square number is also equal to 1. So here the GCD of this number equal to 1 implies the GCD of the square of this number, that is square of A upon C. The square of A upon C is A square upon C square. So GCD of A square upon C square comma B square upon C square is also equals to 1 by this example. Okay, now this is equals to 1, then we multiply this by C square. Okay, so if we multiply this by C square, then this implies that the GCD of A square upon C square comma B square upon C square into C square is equals to 1 into C square. Now as the GCD of A square upon C square comma B square upon C square we multiplied by C square, then this C square get cancelled with this inside numbers. So we get GCD of A square comma B square, and 1 into C square is C square. Hence we get from this equation, that is the GCD of A square comma B square equal to C square. The GCD of A square comma B square is equal to C square, and hence we get our result. Okay, so here we complete our second example. Now let's see the example that state that determine whether the following assertions are true or false. That is, here are some assertions, that is statements are given. We have to prove or disprove that by taking an example. That is, we have to prove whether they are true or false. If they are false, then prove by giving some counter example. Okay, so to prove the first one, first one is given if P is a prime and P is dividing the sum of square number A square plus B square, and P is dividing B square plus C square, then P divides A square minus C square. So let's see the solution of the first one. That solution of first. Here P is prime number and given that P is dividing. So first statement is true because P is dividing A square plus B square and P is dividing B square plus C square. So as we know the property that if P is divide, that is any number, if A divide B and A divide C, then A divides the linear combination of B and C, that is Bx plus, and therefore we use this property, that is the property of divisibility here. So what we get here, that P is dividing Bx plus Cy, that is the linear combination of these two. Okay, so we can take the subtraction also between that. So P divides A square plus B square minus B square plus C square. Okay, so we take the subtraction here. Now if we open the bracket by minus sign, so B square get cancelled with this B square. So P is divide A square minus C square. Okay, and therefore we get this result, that is p is dividing a square minus c square, right? Now the second is saying that if p is a prime and p is dividing same number, but we have to prove that p is dividing a square plus c square. So second one is false, because we cannot write this a square plus c square in the linear combination of these two. Okay, so we have to take the example to prove that it is false by giving the counter example. So here if we let a is equals to 4, comma b equal to 7, comma c equal to 9, then we have a is equals to 4. Okay, so a square is nothing but a square is 4 square, that is equals to 16, comma b square equal to 7 square, that is equals to 49, and c square equals to 9 square, that is equals to 81. So we have now a square plus b square equals to what? A square equals to 16 and b square is 49. So this is equal to 65, right? Okay, now p equals to 5 implies p divides, that is 5 is dividing 65, right? That is p is dividing a square plus b square. So p is a prime number because 5 is prime. So 5 is dividing 65, that is dividing a square plus b square, and 5 divides b square plus c square. So what is b square plus c square? That is here 5 is, that is 5 divides b square is 49 plus 81, so it is 130. Okay, so 5 divides 130, that is 5 is dividing b square plus c square, so it dividing both. So can it be divide a square plus c square? So see, 5 can be 5 divides a square is 16 plus c square is 81. So 16 plus 81 is also equals to, so 5 can divide 97. So 5 is not dividing 97. Okay, so here what we get, that 5 not divide a square plus c square, right? So 5 is dividing a square plus b square, that is this one. 5 is dividing b square plus c square, but 5 is not dividing a square plus c square, and therefore the second statement, that this statement is false. Okay, by using this example. Now the third one, what the third one says, that if b is dividing a square minus 1, then b divides a to the power 4 minus 1. Okay, so we can write this as b is dividing a square minus 1. Okay, given that b is dividing a square minus 1, so we can write this as b divide a square minus 1 into a square plus 1, because b is dividing this a square minus 1, right? So we can divide the multiples of a square minus 1. So in the multiple of a square minus 1, we are taking the number a square plus 1, and this implies that b divides a to the power. Now here we can use the formula a minus b into a plus b. Okay, and a minus b into a plus b is a square minus b square. So we have a square, its square, minus 1 square. So that is nothing but our, that is b divides a to the a square, its square is a to the power 4 and it is minus 1. So b is dividing a to the power 4 minus 1. Hence the number third, the result is true. Okay, so third result is true. Now we have to prove the fourth one. Fourth one is b is dividing a square plus 1. Then we have to show that can it divide the a to the power 4 plus 1. So this statement is false, because we have the example here that if we take a is equals to 2 and b is equals to 5, okay, then 5 is dividing 2 square plus 1. That is a square plus 1 means 2 square plus 1 is 5. So 5 is dividing 5, but 5 does not divide 2 to the power 4 plus 1. 2 to the power 4 is equals to 2 square is 4. 2 to the power 4 is 16 plus 1. So 16, this is equals to 17. So 5 does not divide 17, right? So 5 is not dividing a to the power 4 plus 1 in this form, right? So this statement is false for this values a equal to 2 and b equals to 5. So remember that whenever you have to prove that the given statement is true or false, or prove or disprove, then you have to check for the example. If the statement is true, then prove by using some properties of the divisibility or the theorems that we have seen earlier. But if it is disproved, then we require the counter example which does not satisfy the condition, right? As we have seen in the example 2. Now you can done the, we have done up to 4th number, okay? So you have to done 5th and 6th by your own and see the example whether this can be satisfied or not, okay? So the statement, the 5th statement, I am only saying that the 5th statement is false and the 6th one is true. So you have to prove this 5th and 6th by your own, okay? Now we see some more example to find the GCD, that is on the GCD of the number by using the prime factorization. So as here we have seen earlier that if the GCD of a comma b equal to c, then we have to prove that the GCD of a square comma b square equal to c square, right? So now we here use the we prove this result by using the prime factorization now. So we have the solution. In that we let a comma b comma c, that is and c, be integers and greater than 1, that is they are positive integer greater than 1. Then by prime factorization theorem, so our as a, b and c are integers, therefore we can write this in the form of the prime factorization. So a can be written in the form of p1 to the power a1, p2 to the power a2, and so on, pr to the power ar. Similarly, b can be written as b is equals to p1 to the power b1, p2 to the power b2, and so on, pr to the power br. Okay, and let the GCD of a comma b is equals to c. And as we know that we can find the GCD by the minimum of the powers that taken for the prime numbers, okay? So this implies that the GCD is written as the GCD of a comma b is nothing but p1 to the power minimum of a1 comma b1, p2 to the power minimum of a2 comma b2, and so on, pr to the power minimum of ar comma br. So we write the GCD of a comma b in this form. This is equal to c, right? Now this implies that as p1 to the power minimum of a1 comma b1, this is equals to c. Now we take the square of this 2, okay, square of both sides. So by squaring on both sides, we get squaring on both sides. This implies that p1 to the power minimum of a1 comma b1, p2 to the power minimum of a2 comma b2, and so on, pr to the power minimum of ar comma br, we take the square root of all these primes equal to c square of c, right? Now here this implies that, so p1 to the power minimum of a1 comma b1 and to the power 2. So we can write that is in the form a to the power m to the power n is equals to a to the power mn, right? So using this property of the powers, that is indices, we can write this term as p1 to the power twice minimum of a1 comma b1, p2 to the power twice minimum of a2 comma b2, and so on, pr to the power minimum of ar, that is twice ar comma br, equal to c square. Now twice the minimum of a1 comma b1 is written as p1 to the power minimum of 2a1 comma 2b1. That is, we can multiply this number 2 inside this minimum of a1 comma b1. So it is twice a1 comma twice b1 into p2 to the power minimum of twice a2 comma twice b2, and so on, pr to the power twice minimum of, that is minimum of 2ar into comma twice br, that is equals to c square. And this is since minimum of twice the minimum of ai comma bi is equals to the minimum of 2ai comma 2bi. That is, we take this 2 inside the minimum of the numbers. Okay, so using this here, now this can be written as, now the minimum of 2a1 comma 2b1 is nothing but our the minimum. So minimum of 2a1 comma 2b1, what this means that p1 to the power a twice a1 we have, p1 to the power twice b we have. Okay, that is, this is nothing but the GCD of a square comma b square. That is, we write here as what is a square? A square is the square of this prime factorization, p2 to the power a2 and so on, pr to the power ar. Right, so a square is nothing but this. So that is equals to the square of this one. Okay, so this is equals to p to the power twice 7, because using the property that a to the power m to the power n is nothing but a to the power mn. So we use that property here of indices, that p1 to the power a1 and its square is something p1 to the power twice 7. p2 to the power a2 and its square is nothing but twice a2, and so on, pr to the power twice ar. Similarly, b square is nothing but our, so similarly b square can be written in this form. So p1 to the power twice b1 into p2 to the power twice b2 and so on, pr to the power twice br. Now taking the GCD of a square comma b square is nothing but our p1 to the power minimum of 2a1 comma twice b1, p2 to the power twice a minimum of twice a2 comma twice b2 and so on, pr to the power minimum of twice ar comma br, twice br. Okay, so this is nothing but the GCD of a square comma b square. So we give this as the equation number 2, and we give this as equation number 1. So using equation 2, equation 1 implies. Okay, so using equation 2, equation 1 implies. So from equation 2 we have it is this term, that is p1 to the power minimum of twice a1 comma twice b1. This term is equals to the GCD of a square comma b square. So we have GCD of a square comma b square and equal to, on the right hand side we have c square. So GCD of a square comma b square equals to c square when the GCD of a comma b equal to c. So we prove this result by using this prime factorization. Now we can see one more example that state that let a and b be positive integers. A and b are positive given and the GCD of a comma b is equals to 1. The product of a into b. If we take the product of a and b, then it is a perfect square. That is, some 5 square is 25, 6 square as 36. Okay, so we have these two numbers a and b are such that their GCD is equals to 1 and their product is a perfect square. That is, the a into b is a square number. We have to prove that if this is the case, then we have to prove that a and b are also a perfect square. Okay, so we have to prove that we have given that the GCD of a comma b is equals to 1 and the product ab is a perfect square. Then we have to prove that a and b are perfect square. Okay, so we can prove this theorem by using again in this form of the prime factorization. That is, we can write a and b in the prime factorization form, and then we can prove the result for product AB, and then we can prove the result that A and B are a perfect square. Okay, that is, it can be written as something to the power. Okay, so let's see the proof here, that is solution. For this, if we have we take A and B in the prime factorization form, that is in this form, so it can be written also as, this can be written also as the product is nothing but, as we write the sums, we can write the sum in the summation form. So for the product we have to write the capital this as a pi, and it is running over I, that is I is running from 1 to up to R, pi to the power ai, that is we can write this in this form. Okay, so what this means, that this sign is nothing but the sign of the product. So when there is a product, we can write the sign in this form, product of over I, the product of primes, pi to the power ai, and similarly here as product over I, pi to the power bi. Okay, so we use those forms as here. So as we have given that, let A and B be integers, let A and B be positive integers, and then by prime factorization we can write this as we can write A in the form of P1 to the power A1, P2 to the power A2, and so on, PR to the power AR, that is nothing but our product sign. This is what this pi sign is, capital pi sign is our product sign, which product is running over I, pi, A to the power I. Okay, similarly B, which is equals to P1 to the power B2, P1 to the power B1, P2 to the power B2, and so on, PR to the power BR, is written as product over I, pi to the power bi. Okay, and where ai are natural number and it may take the value 0, bi are natural number, it may take the value 0. Now we give this as a equation number 1, and we have to take the, and the GCD of a comma b is given that it is equals to 1, and the AB that is product of a and b is a square number. So we can write the product now by using this form. We can write the product a into b as, therefore AB is equals to product over I, pi to the power ai, this is our number a, into b is our product over I, pi to the power bi. Okay, and this is equal to, now product of these numbers is nothing but product over I, pi into ai, pi to the power bi, product over I, pi. Now this is same as the a to the power m into a to the power n is equals to a to the power m plus n. Okay, since by using this property we have a to the power I plus b to the power I, but as we have given that AB is a perfect square, therefore this above form implies, that is, since AB is a perfect square, therefore above implies, that is, this number should be in the power of something, right? That is, this number is nothing but our ai plus bi will be in the form 2ci. Why here 2? Because it is a perfect square. If it is a perfect square, then ai plus bi will be something to the power 2, that is this, that is, we can say that pi to the power here something a square number m. Okay, and as m is a square number, that is, this is to the power something square is there. Okay, so we have square, for that we require here 2 into ci, that is ai plus bi is written as 2 into ci, right? Now this is for sum where ci is greater than 0. For sum ci which is greater than equals to 0 for all I, that is for each number ai plus bi there exists a c1, that is for a1 plus b1 there exists a1. Now here also given that the GCD of a comma b is equals to 1. So this implies that the GCD of, we can write a in the product form, product over I, pi to the power ai, comma b is written as in the product form, product over I, pi to the power bi equal to 1. As the GCD is equals to 1, what this means that, as we know that GCD is nothing but the minimum of the powers of pi, that is minimum of ai comma bi. So to require the GCD should be equals to 1, we require that the powers minimum of ai comma bi, that is to require GCD is equals to 1, we require the powers of ai, that is minimum of the powers of ai comma bi is equals to 0, so that p to the power 0 will be equals to 1. Okay, pi to the power 0 equals to 1. So to require the minimum of ai comma bi is equals to 0, we require that ai is equals to 0 or bi equal to 0, right? So we have the GCD is equals to 1 implies that ai not equals to 0 but bi equals to 0. If when ai is not 0 then bi should be 0, or when ai is equals to 0, that is when 1 should be 0, 1 should be not 0. Okay, so when ai equals to 0, bi is not equals to 0. Okay, so to require the GCD is equals to 1, for that case we require at least one of them is 0. Okay, so we get this two cases, and then so when the ai is not 0, we require that b should be 0, bi should be 0. We give this as a equation number 2, and this as a equation number 3, and this as a equation number 4. Now equation 3 implies as here ai plus bi equals to 2ci, then what this implies, if when ai is not equals to 0 but bi equal to 0, okay, so when bi equal to 0, ai should be equals to something 2 into multiplication, right? Because we require 2 ci is required. So when ai is not equals to 0 and bi is equals to 0, then ai is equals to 2 into something number. Okay, so using equation this 4, equation 3 implies that ai will be even, and when bi not, that is ai equals to 0, then bi should be equals to twice something number, right? So when ai equals to 0, bi is not 0, and therefore bi should be twice some integer. So bi will be even number and ai will be even number. So what this implies, equation 3 implies that ai equals to even number, that is equals to twice mi, comma bi is equals to twice ni, that is ai may be even or bi will be even, and therefore where mi and ni are some positive numbers, positive integers. Okay, then equation 1 implies what the equation 1, that is the form of the product number, that is this is our equation 1. So then equation 1 implies ai is 2mi, right? So a is nothing but our, we substitute the value of ai here, so a is nothing but product over I, pi to the power twice mi, and this is equals to, now this can be written as product over I, pi to the power mi whole to the power 2. Okay, this 2 means in the powers of this mi to the power mi square is there, right? Pi to the power mi to the power 2. So this is same as the, we can write this term as this, and similarly b can be written as, because b is equals to 2ni, so this can be written as product over I, pi to the power twice ni, and therefore this is equals to product over I, pi to the power ni whole bracket square, right? So this term and this term, both term are written in the form of a square number, right? So from this, a is written as something integer to the power 2, b is written as something to the power integer 2. What this implies, that a is a perfect square, b is a perfect square. That is, we can take the under root of that. Under root of that gives us some integer number, and therefore a and b are perfect square. Okay, so from this we get that this implies a and b are perfect square. Okay, now you can generalize this example by taking that if AB is a kth power term, that is, the generalization of this example is if AB, that is product, is a kth power term and GCD of a comma b is equals to 1, that is a and b are integer and satisfying these two conditions, then a and b are kth power terms, kth powers numbers. That is, if the product is a kth power term, that is, as here is a perfect square is given, so here AB is written as a kth power, then the individual number a and b are also a perfect square. So we have to prove that here a and b are kth power, that is a and b can be written in the kth power terms. Okay, so to prove this result we have to use the same argument, that as here we have saying AB is a perfect square, therefore this implies that AI plus BI equals to twice CI. So if we assume that AB is a kth power term, then we have to assume here that AI plus BI will be k into CI, that is the kth power into CI. Okay, and the same, by the same argument we can say that as AI is even because of this result, so AI can be written as k times mi and BI can be written as k times ni. Okay, by the same argument we get this, and using this AI and BI we can substitute the values of AI is equals to k into mi in the product of the form a and b. So we get that here pi to the power mi to the power k, that is a can be written in the product over I, pi to the power mi whole to the power k, and similarly b can be written in this form, product over I, pi to the power ni whole to the power k, right? So by the same arguments we can prove this, that is we can generalize the example for the kth power term and we get the result. Okay, and therefore from this implies that a and b are written in the kth power terms.